Hey, this is Bruce from B&B Farm, and today I'm going to show you how I air root or air graft our wine grapes. These are our Blanc du Bois wine grapes, which is a white wine grown in southeast Texas, very Pierce disease resistance. So first I'm going to tell you what all you need in order to do some air grafting. First thing, of course, is a 2-liter soda bottle. Cut the top off. Other materials you need, I like to just use a box cutter or X-Acto knife, whatever you call these. It's the easiest way to cut the top off to me. If you use shears or something, you just really dull them. Plus this comes in handy to make the slits to tie it on. You're going to need string to tie it on with. A little bit of rooting hormone, and a brush to brush it on with. Very simple way to do it. So first thing I'm going to do here is cut a couple of slits evenly in here for my string, one on each side. And there you go. And then cut a couple of lengths of string. Make them long enough. You don't want it to be too short. If it's too long, no big deal. When you remove it, you're going to throw away the string anyway. So there we just cut a couple of lengths of string. You can use any string you want. Doesn't really matter. So what I do is I find those slits that I put in there and just sort of shred that string through. You know, until it's about even so you can tie it. There's one side. And there's another. Now I like to tie them onto these metal metal spreader bars right here, and the wire. The reason I like to do that is we are very windy out here, and if you just tie them to the wires, then I've often noticed that the wind will actually push it down the vine, and that could cause the vine to break if you move it too much. So the first thing I do is tie it onto the metal spreader bar. I'm going to put it on this side of the spreader bar. Just make it easy for me to work with. And then the second string I tie to the wire. Now I already identified this vine right here. You want to identify one that you're going to cut anyway. Don't go too close to the main trunk because you're going to cause a scar. So you want to identify one you want to cut. Now a lot of people will bring it through the top and have it going down like that through there. I'm not a big fan of this because these vines tend to get very big, and they get big enough to where they will stop up in this bottom hole of the soda bottle. And so then when you're going that way, you're cutting it, and then you don't have much growth. So I come in from the bottom, and what you want to do is, make sure you have enough room to come in through the bottom, and just kind of try and keep your leaves intact as you can as you go through. If they come off, no big deal, they'll grow back. If they get too big, then just kind of strip them. And as you can see now, it's coming through the top. I have a bunch of grapes right here, so I think I'm going to stop right about right there. That looks great. Take my box cutters, Bring it back down a little bit to where I want the roots. I'm going to decide that I'm going to root it off of this node right here. Get this leaf out the way so we can see. So I'm going to take that node and cut it. Just slightly, kind of debarking the vine. Don't go too far, you don't want to go all the way through. Just basically take off that outer layer of skin. Right on the node is where the roots will develop. So that is the only place you really need to cut it, to score it, whatever you want to call it. And then that is where you would paint on your rooting hormone. So just get your small brush, right where you scored it, paint on that rooting hormone. It should be a little wet, so it should apply itself pretty well. There you go. Little goes a long way on that. I'm going to place it back up into the bottle to where we wanted it. As you can see, right about right there, that's where the rooting hormone is. Stem is out there. And the next thing we do is add soil. You want to use an in-ground potting soil. Very simple, just scoop it on in there. Pretty much want to go all the way to at the top. There you go. Now we get a lot of rain about 60 miles northeast of Houston, so there's no real need to water these. But if you live someplace much drier, every now and again, make sure you keep that soil moist, because the moisture of the soil is what's going to make the roots develop in there. And that's basically it. Now I will get a solid pack of roots in here, and this vine will be much larger and up to about 6 feet tall. So next year when I want to plant it, I will be able to put it in the ground and have it all the way up to my top wire here, where I can start developing the shoots from it. So this method works much better than any sort of cutting method for us. And as you can see, it's pretty simple. Again, I'm Bruce for B&B Farm. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.